Yeah, we're extremely excited for this. We've been working on it for a long time. The GPT series of models was amazing at sort of system one type thinking, for lack of a more nuanced word. But we knew what we really wanted was systems that could reason. And there's so much value if you can have AI that can reason through more complex problems. You saw a glimpse of that with the GPT-4 models, but O1 really is the first system that can do pretty advanced reasoning. If you give it a difficult programming challenge or a difficult math problem, a difficult science thing you need help with, you can really get pretty extraordinary results. And we believe this is going to unlock, over time, this will look as significant as the GPT series and unlock a huge set of new, very, very valuable use cases. Think of this as like we're at the GPT-2 stage of these new kind of reasoning models. And you will see it over the coming years go up to the GPT-4 equivalent. But even in the coming months, you'll see it get a lot better as we move from O1 preview to O1, which we shared some metrics for in our launch blog post. It's a very significant step forward. And I think one of the many fun things about these moments of new paradigms is that the curve, the improvement curve, is really steep. And so, things that the model just can't solve right now, in a few months they'll be able to solve, a few months after that, be able to solve even more. And most importantly, I don't know about most importantly, I think we're going to see a whole new set of ways to use these models. When we had GPT 3.5, it was in the API for a while, and then it was really the ChatGPT moment that made people use it a lot. And even then, it took people a while to figure out how to use ChatGPT, and it took us a while to build all the other features and add the things that people wanted. So I think we're that early with O1. There will be totally new ways to use it that are not just a chat interface. It'll take us a while to build those, and other people a while to build those. It'll also take users a while to figure out how to use it. And this is pretty different than the GPT models. We have these 5 levels of AI we talk about. The first was chatbots. The second, which we've just reached now, is reasoners. The third is agents. The fourth is sort of innovators, the ability to figure out new scientific information. And the fifth is full organizations. So this move from 1 to 2 took a while, but I think one of the most exciting things about 2 is that it enables level 3 relatively quickly after. And the agentic experiences that we expect this technology to eventually enable, I think will be quite impactful. Yeah, one of the things I believe is when you sit down in a meeting where you're talking about potential major partnership, you can kind of feel in the first few minutes if you really want to do it or not. And I very much felt that sitting down with you. I thought the sort of shared belief in what this new technology can do for customers, for people, and kind of just having better experiences, better lives. The spirit of T-Mobile as an innovative experimental company, excited to jump in with us and figure it out together. That was great. The specific use cases that we talked about really improving the sort of customer experience and sort of what this can mean for totally reimagining how customer support works. It was in your office up in Washington, and I was just like, immediately I remember leaving and being like, we're going to do this. I'm really excited. Like, let's go. We'll just throw our best people at it. One of the many things that we're most excited about, excited about for this new generation of models, is what we can do for personalization for an individual user or customer, and also what we can do for integration, where these models will be able to look at a huge amount of data and use a huge amount of tools and access a huge amount of systems and deliver these hopefully fairly magical experiences. And so as we think about what's possible with IntentCX and this personalization integration coming together, we can dream out pretty far about what it's going to be like for a customer and the next best action. And we can even think further out to things we haven't focused on as much. But I was just watching backstage as you talked about all the amazing networking work, the network work that you're doing. Totally. I think that should be a great fit for what these models can do. And as you mentioned, you have so much data. And I think these models are just so good at making sense of lots of data.
So can we talk about data safety?
Yeah.
You know, one of the questions I know people will have is, all right, so how's this going to work? I mean, you know, are customers giving their permission for us to do all this stuff? And how, you know, in that sense, what we're doing isn't much different than how we're already operating, which is to use your data at T-Mobile to make your T-Mobile experience better. But we're getting now OpenAI deeply involved. Can you talk about data safety? How is this data not going to escape T-Mobile and be used to train the wider models?
So I think one thing that is not well understood by OpenAI is that we don't train our models on API customer data. So like that is your data, other customers' data, that's their data. We can do custom models for you with that data, or we can do, you know, you can do like in-context learning and not even train the model more on the data. But it's not, you know, this is not data that's like improving the base OpenAI models ever.
And so, why not? Like, why don't you need, in other words, how is it, just shifting gears a minute, how is it that OpenAI is so far ahead? Like, what are you doing differently in this space that's allowing you to develop these models at pace? And now, working with us, you know, to figure out how to unlock their potential at scale to make customers' lives better and business results better.
First of all, thank you for saying that. It's a very nice compliment. We build on a gigantic amount of work that has come before us. And you know, the field of AI is an old field that people have been contributing really brilliant ideas to for a long time. And more than that, if you think about all of the work that had to happen throughout human history to discover semiconductors and build chips and networks and these massive data centers, we're just doing our one little bit on the very top of that. But we try to do it as well as we can. And we try to have a very focused research program. I think one of the mistakes that other research programs make is they don't have enough conviction and a concentration. It's very easy to copy something once it works. So I think the two ways you can succeed are, say, we're going to be a great fast follower, and we're going to like just copy whatever OpenAI does or whatever somebody else does that works. And I don't mean that as negative as it came across, because I think there are a lot of companies that just wait to see what works and then do a very good job of polish and execution. But if you're trying to move the frontier, that's very difficult. And conviction and focus, I think, across a lot of people in a very complex environment, that's the best way forward. And so that's what we try to do. We say, okay, we really believe in deep learning. That's our bet. We really believe in a path from where we are to AGI and beyond, but we're willing to get corrected based off of things we learn along the way. And we're going to keep trying to do the next thing in front of us with as much firepower as we can and trust that over time that will compound. And that's really worked for us. And so that's our simple approach.
So this partnership represents kind of a pattern that OpenAI is, you know, now pursuing, which is doubling down in a few areas. You know, we're your benchmark partner when it comes to unlocking the value of all this in industry, but I know you're interested in other areas as well. And since we have a couple of spare minutes, can you talk about what you're excited about? I know you're doing amazing, more verticalized things, not just with us, but you're interested in healthcare, you're interested in a few other areas where these same technologies, with the right kind of process change that we're doing with Intent CX for industry, for companies like ours all over the world, you're doing in other sectors as well. Can you talk about what you're excited about?
Yeah, so first of all, this is one of our most important partnerships, but we hope it inspires a lot of other people to see like really what you can do for customers with AI. Like I think this will be just a tremendous new landmark step forward. Healthcare is an area, as you mentioned, where I would expect greatness. I think, you know, most of the world, unfortunately, does not get access to great healthcare, and what these models can do for that. I'm really excited to see someone go build the best imaginable AI medical advisor and make that broadly available. I think that'll be a big step forward. Education's another area where we're seeing great stuff happen already today. Watching what people have done. I think O1 has only been out for like 5 days or something, 6 days maybe. Watching what people have been doing with it is really remarkable. And what people used to do with GPT-4 also was pretty good. But if you imagine every student getting personalized tutoring, best for them, along with the rest of their educational experience, I think that can be huge. An area that I am extremely personally excited for, that I think is still in the future, but we can now see glimpses of it, is AI helping us accelerate scientific discovery. I believe that most of the real sustainable economic growth in the world, life getting better for all of us, that comes very largely from scientific progress and technological progress. And if AI can accelerate that, if it can help us invent new stuff, cure diseases, come up with better energy sources, whatever, that'll be a huge win.
So a minute ago, you said that you're building on 1,000 years of capabilities and just doing a tiny little bit of work on top. And that might be one of the most humble things I've ever heard anybody say. You're amazing. What you're doing is amazing. Just thank you for the inspiration, and thanks for this partnership that I think has a huge opportunity to unlock at scale how this technology can make customers' lives better and then translate into a better business model for all of us.
Thank you very much. We're really
Thanks, Sam.
excited. Appreciate the partnership.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.